This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good night, Julie Leduc. How are you doing on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I am doing very well. Thank you. Thank you so much for asking.
You are welcome. Do tell me, Julie, what part of the world are you in right now?
I am talking to you from Ottawa, just outside Ottawa, in Ontario and in Canada.
That's wonderful. Well, do tell me, my friend, which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this specific time? I think I know the answer to this, though.
Yes, for sure. Well, we did meet a long time ago now, I guess, because we have a similar heart into helping people financially. And I've been very active doing this my whole life, but most particularly in the last 10 years.
Which is finances, yeah?
Yes, in finance. So I'm a certified financial coach. I'm also a mortgage broker, and what I do is I help people find solutions to finding financial wellness. So I build strategies to help them build wealth and pay off debt. That's typically what I do.
That's great. Now, I met you, correct me if I'm wrong, in 2013 for Entre Leadership, yes?
Sounds about right. Wow. Sounds about right. I'm going to say, I can't remember exactly the year, but I'm going to say it's about right.
Yeah, I remember
it's a few years ago. I remember meeting you for sure, and I remember being there, but the year is disappearing in my brain.
It's cool. It's only 6 years, just about 6 years ago. Yeah, which is amazing in terms of, it feels like it was last 2 years. But I remember because it was 1 year after I got out of that. And then I made that trip across, which was from 2012. Yes, but it was really great meeting you there. I remember one of the challenges was getting what Dave does in Canada. Has that been rectified?
No, he doesn't do anything in Canada as far as I know. He is not allowed to cross not that he's not allowed to cross over, but there are limitations as to what he can do in regards to Financial Peace University. I've not heard that there's anything else happening.
All right. Which means you are like the heroine, right? Because you get to carry back from the perspective of gaining the knowledge and teaching the way you see it best.
Exactly. I know that there's very few people that are doing the same thing that we do. There are other organizations out there that claim to do the things that we do, but unfortunately, they just have a different philosophy, a different focus, a different objective, really all the way through. And so my heart has always been to really see people be set free financially and to give them tools that they can apply to their lives, their whole life. It's not just for now, for today, and for this month. It's for the rest of their lives. And ideally, they can impact the generations to come as well. And we're trying to develop attitudes and strategies that they can actually pass on to children. So we've expanded our business to not just work with adults, but we're hoping to be able to tap into the churches and do activities with the children to be able to teach the children at a young age about finances as well, so that we can begin to impact people at different levels, so that in turn, by the time we've done this for quite a few years, we'll have impacted a whole generation, ideally.
I love it. Now, who did you learn that from, that ability to have such of a big heart?
I got it from the Lord himself. It's amazing the gifts that we are given. We all have different gifts, and my gift was always to help people, and specifically financially. Years ago, I took some time away from the job that I was holding because my background's in accounting, and I was struggling with, do I stay at this job? What do I do? And I remember taking a time and saying, okay, where do I where am I going from here? What do I need to do? And I remember crying out to God and saying, okay, what do I do? Where do you want me to go? And his answer was, you need to work in your gifts. And I'm going, okay, but I'm already working in finances. I know I'm good at it. Where do we go from here? And that's when he brought back to mind that when I was in college, I had written a business plan on how I was going to help people that were struggling financially and move on. And so that's where that sourced from, is that season that I took away to be able to just rethink where I was going with my career, really. And then I made some steps, or took some steps to get to where I am today.
Love it. Where can people reach out to you?
I can be reached certainly on my website at julie@beyondmortgages.ca. I also have a corporation. I'm a shareholder in a corporation called yourmoveyourmoney.ca. So it's about the same kind of thing. So yourmoveyourmoney.ca. You can reach me there. My contact information is there as well. Or they can always call me directly at 613-277-5271.
You know, you can trust a financial advisor when they've given you their phone number. It's a very key factor, very key. Well, do tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years, please.
That's a very good question. Consistently in the last 3 years, I have worked diligently to do a church plant in our community, which is actually launching the 3rd of February.
Explain a church plant. What's that?
So a church plant is that we started coming together years ago, well, probably 12 years ago, and started to pray that we would get a church in our community, and what that would look like, and so on. So we've been praying all these years. And then I was approached 5 years ago to see if I would be part of this church plant, or just starting this new church. And I knew nothing about it, but I knew that it had been on my heart for some time. So I've been working in that area on the non-professional side to be able to work this church and build it up. So we've been praying that through, meeting with people, and our official launch is on the 3rd of February.
That's wonderful. How does it make you feel, looking back from then to now? How does it make you feel to see where it reached?
Well, you know, it's amazing how when God puts something in our hearts, how He will bring it to fruition in His time. I mean, I had to hang on to this now for almost 12 years before it became a reality. But in fact, it's not me. It has nothing to do with me. He just used me. I was the vehicle, right, to be able to bring this to a place of, okay, let's bring this. And of course, I'm not the only person involved in this. There are the other pastors and so on. So that said, there's so many other factors involved, but God was able to use me to bring me there. So how does that make me feel? It makes me feel like it's great to be obedient. It's great that I'm hoping that one day when I get to heaven, the Lord's going to put His hand on my shoulder and say, well done, good and faithful servant. You know, at the end of the day, I am here to serve in the capacity that I've been provided, that the gifts that I'm provided. And so I'm doing that same kind of thing in this capacity as well.
Love it. Amazing audience. You're hearing it live from Julie Leduc. Julie, let's switch gears for a moment. Let me now invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Julie, what is your earliest childhood memory?
My latest child memory?
Oh, sorry. It's my accent. Your earliest.
Sorry.
It's okay.
My earliest, forgive me. My earliest memory. That again, these are really good questions. She
said, "Ay." I've never heard that.
I don't know. I remember when I was 10 years old. I'm trying to remember earlier than that, but I'm struggling. But I remember when I was 10 years old, I wanted to sleep under the stars because I wanted to look at the stars. And I remember my mother said, okay, well, you can take like the lawn chair and lay yourself down. And sort of like we had a yard, but it was wide open. So it was if I laid close to the driveway, I was closer to the house. And I remember doing that. And I remember she came out with me for a period of time. And then I ended up going in because I didn't stay there the whole night. But the point was I wanted to lay out and look at the stars. So I remember doing that. And that was quite nice.
Why do you think this memory is so clear?
Probably because I was older. It was pleasant. It was positive, right?
How do you see that memory connecting to who you are today?
Well, to me, God has been such a big part of my life. And that would, maybe without even knowing it, 10 years old, when I was wanting to spend some time and look at the stars, I wanted to connect with God then. So I would think that it's my whole God connection that was beginning in a new way, in a more mature way, if I can say that. At 10 years old, I'm probably maybe not all that mature, but certainly would start there, and has grown and blossomed in the years that followed.
That's beautiful. Can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind with that memory?
Certainly.
I love the fact that you said one of your passions is that you're going to help the next generation. Definitely the age group, the 10-year-old, is a grand age here. If they do get this information, it helps. But what I do love in the imagery of your memory is how your mother supported a desire you had, and she did it gently. She said, here you could probably take the lawn chair and go out there and do that. And I think that's very critical to the growth of other individuals. Gentle support. So to see you doing that, even with the planting of the church, just being that support, a gentle support, I love that and how that looks.
Excellent. That's very nice.
It's yours.
Very good.
If we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
My favorite song? Oh, my word. I wouldn't even, oh, my. Well, 12 years old, maybe it was in the years that Grease came out. So I'm quite a bit older maybe than you. So maybe in the years that John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John were doing Grease Lightning and Sandy. So I would really relate to the soft Sandy songs, to the gentle, heart, songs, the ones that spoke to our hearts.
Yeah, definitely. The heart is definitely the theme of this conversation. Julie, we've arrived at our destination now. But before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
Yes.
Julie, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes, I have.
Are you married?
Yes, I am.
Do you have children?
Yes.
Do you believe in God?
I do.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
I do.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
Yes.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
That would likely be more.
If you, Julie, had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, what would you say that is?
I would say that I like to bring people from survival to stability to success to significance.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. Can I add something?
Certainly.
I will help you look to the stars.
Excellent.
Julie, this has been a great pleasure. Again, before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
I'm very grateful that you've accepted to contact me and to be able to be on this podcast. I think it's fun. It's very, very different. I'm not familiar with all the electronics, but this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. It's definitely fun meeting you virtually again, Julie, as much as it was the first time. No, the first time was better because it was in real life, but definitely
Correct.
I'll take this. Yeah, I'll take this. Julie Leduc, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
This segment has been brought to you by Amazel Enterprise.